Very good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. We meet again today for our webinar brought to you by the School of Nursing and Midwifery, Faculty of Medicine, Bioscience and Nursing, MAHSA University. A bit about our MAHSA University before we go further. So we hail from the School of Nursing and Midwifery at MAHSA University. So MAHSA University started from MAHSA University obtained its university status in 2009, and we have been running all the nursing programs. Next, please. Can we go to the next slide, please? Next, please. Done. Cannot see the screen. With your. So our campus is situated in the city, and we have both practice areas in public and private hospitals. We have flexible programs, and we have innovative teaching and learning platforms. From PTPTN, MARA, etc. We have additional support for the students. We do revision classes, for example, nursing board exam and all. And MAHSA University is branded for international collaborations where our students can go overseas to work. So we have so many nursing programs, certificate right up to degree, master's and PhD level. Our achievement of students is normally 100% pass especially in the nursing board exam. And this is our organizational chart for our School of Nursing. And our staffs are very well experienced and have been well known as panel of assessors, members of the nursing board, etc. So mode of delivery is through lecture, tutorials, online learning, etc. And these are some of our facilities. This is our Center for Clinical Skills Education and Training, our skills lab. And these are all our facilities, our anatomy lab, our computer rooms. We have online library and learner management system in place. And this is a bit to reflect on our activities. Okay, so that's a bit about our university. My people. water, my two white papers. Have today with us a young, handsome gentleman who is an experienced Chief Executive Director at Eureka Archery. He specializes in multiple intelligence, multimedia, and manages digital distress, is knowledgeable about effects of social media and mental health. Today, Mr. Fight will be telling us about how technology can impact our mental health in this new normal. Without much ado, I hand you over to Mr. Anwar Faik bin Mat
Very good afternoon, Asha. Very good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for listening in. My name is Anwar Matsaat. And for today, I would like to talk about mental health and technology in the new normal. So a little bit about myself. My name is Anwar Matsaat. So these are my experience for the past 5 years. I was a managing director for Eureka Arts Sdn Berhad, CEO for Eureka Archery, Director of Operations for Transtar Technology in 2018 to 2019, as well as the Chief Editor for a local press. So just a real quick history. These are some of the pictures of my experience before. I'm used to giving a lot of talks in terms of technology, as well as social media and mental health in general. Something that's a little bit different. Last year, I actually represented Malaysia for an international traditional archery tournament in Bhutan and made 3rd place. So that is something extracurricular to the other things that I've been doing for the past 5 years. Now, the topic for today is mental health and technology in the new normal. So let's discuss. We all know that the new normal imposes to us new challenges that we may have not experienced before, and maybe future challenges that we may not even have think of. So to go back to basics, let's talk about mental health in general first. So the definition in mental health is a person's condition with regard to their psychological and emotional well-being. So everybody understand the general terminology of mental health, but what are the main issues plaguing, people in terms of mental health, irregardless if there is the pandemic or not? So the World Health Organization has mentioned that depression is a common illness worldwide, with more than 300 million people affected. Now, bear in mind, this is a citation from 2018. 2 years later, we won't be surprised that there are more people actually affected, especially during the pandemic. So by 2030, combating depression will become the world's largest medical burden. A bigger medical burden than heart disease, diabetes, hypertension, depression will be the largest by 2030, and this is quoted by World Health Organization. It is estimated that up to 3/4 of the people will have depression before the age of 24, and around 40% will have the disease as early as age 14. Now, to put that into perspective, that is alarming numbers and alarming figures, especially for the Malaysian context. The Lancet Commission report states that every year, more than 12 billion working days are lost due to mental health conditions. Between 2011 to 2030, this will cost the global economy USD 16 trillion in lost economic output, more than cancer, diabetes, respiratory diseases combined. The amount is close to total exports for the member countries of the World Trade Organization in 2017, which figures at USD 17 trillion. So think about that. Now, reports indicate that 1 in 3 Malaysian adults struggle with mental health issues. The 2017 National Health and Morbidity Survey reported that 29% of Malaysians have depression and anxiety disorder compared to 12% in 2011. That is really alarming figures. The survey also reported that suicidal thoughts among teenagers aged 13 to 17 have increased from 7.9% in 2012 to 10% in 2017. So that means 1 in 10 teenagers have suicidal thoughts. Think about that. Now, enough about the mental health. Let's talk about this next topic, which is technology. The application of scientific knowledge for practical purposes, especially in industry. The branch of knowledge dealing with engineering or applied sciences. This is the general definition of technology. But how does it apply to the Malaysian context in the new normal? Measurable Southeast Asia wrote a report. Malaysia is seeing 5 years of digital transformation in just 1 year. Thank you, COVID-19. Now, this is very interesting to note that due to the pandemic, the adoption of digital technology have accelerated. The Edge Markets reported seniors becoming digitally savvy during the pandemic. Now, this is especially true. Prior to the pandemic, prior to all the lockdowns, senior citizens are mostly left out in the race of adopting technology. But due to the MCO restrictions, due to the pandemic restrictions, seniors are now becoming digital savvy. They are able to communicate using online chat platforms, and they also are able to browse more content and to some extent even shop and carry out their daily lives online. Our Prime Minister mentioned COVID-19 has accelerated adoption of digital culture. So we understand that there are various elements of the situation here now in the new normal, where people are now adopting technology at an accelerated rate. But all of this technology actually focuses on one main thing. Technology is a vast branch of knowledge, but the main thing that we are actually discussing today is as simple as communication. Communication, which is imparting or exchanging of information by speaking, writing, or using some other medium. And some people use sign language, some people actually use flags. There's so many ways to communicate, but technology and communication has accelerated so much that now we can communicate with anyone, anywhere in the world at any time. If you look at the evolution of communication, 30,000 BCE, we were making cave paintings. Many thousand, tens of thousands of years later, mankind managed to domesticate pigeons or carrier pigeons and use that to transfer messages. And moving up towards the years, we see the Mongolian Pony Express in the 1200s, the printing press, which basically kickstarts the Industrial Revolution, where now people can communicate at a much faster rate. But if you look at the main core idea of the communication, cave paintings is essentially writing on a wall. And that's what we are doing on Facebook. We're writing on people's walls. Carrier pigeons sending short messages. We have Twitter for that now. So in essence, that the method may change, but the core is still the same, which is communicating your thoughts and ideas to others. Well, this is all nice and good, but how does technology actually affect mental health? Something to ponder. Now, technology can have a large impact on users' mental and physical health. Being overly connected can cause psychological issues such as distraction, narcissism, expectation of instant gratification, addiction, and even depression. This is especially true for users of social media. When they upload the content, they expect instant gratification. They constantly check their phones to see how many likes they get, how many shares do they get, and for what purpose. It's quite amusing, really, that people can get addicted to the instant gratification and feed their ego and their narcissism online. Duke University conducted a study and they found that at-risk adolescents experience more conduct problems and higher ADHD symptoms compared to days they use technology less. So on the flip side, the study also found that those same adolescents experience less depression and anxiety on days that they use technology more. So based on this study, it sounds like addiction. Let's dig deeper. University of Michigan found that Facebook use led to a decrease in happiness and overall life satisfaction. Maybe for the younger generations, Instagram will be much more relatable, but Facebook, in essence, will lead to a decrease in happiness and overall life satisfaction. And this is published in 2013, 7 years ago. University of Gothenburg. The research coming out of University of Gothenburg in Sweden found a link between heavy cell phone use in young adults and depressive symptoms. Now, there are common themes throughout all these studies which reflect that heavy use of technology, or rather communication technology, may cause severe impact to one's mental health, especially on adolescents. A Swansea University found that heavy internet users experience psychological symptoms of withdrawal when they stop using it. Imagine an online service has the same addictive properties as illegal substances. This was a report published in May 25, 2017, 3 years ago. Now, Professor Rawson of California State University, Dominikus Hills, discovered that high school students could concentrate for an average of measly 3 minutes at a stretch. Students who tended to multitask or really to change tasks frequently or to check Facebook even once during 15 minutes, they were monitored were likely to be poor students. So right now, the average concentration of high school students in California is 3 minutes. That is roughly the duration of a quick content on YouTube. And this is especially alarming because how can you now concentrate on your studies? How can you now concentrate on more important matters? Everything will become noise to you, or rather to the teenagers here in the state university or the students in the high school. As our technology moves faster, our patience grows thinner. A huge study from UMass Amherst, which surveyed 6.7 million users, showed that viewers tend to abandon online videos if they take more than 2 seconds to load. Now, this is especially true for people who browse on YouTube on a daily basis. If they're not interested, or rather if there's a lag in loading the video, they will just skip it on to the next video. And on an emotional level, posting a Facebook status, a tweet, or an Instagram photo feeds on and reinforces our need for instant approving feedback. Again, the instant gratification factor comes in. So we all know how it affects our mental health. There are various studies from reputable universities pointing to the same conclusion, which is it really affects you. Now, in the new normal, is this the new normal where your timetable and your life revolves around how long you use each application? You're just switching from the same applications back and forth, back and forth. And especially in Malaysia, you can observe a trend. When people wake up, the first thing they'll do, they'll go to their Facebook or Instagram. They'll update their status, they see what their friends are up to. And the next thing they do, they saw something they like on Facebook or also on Instagram, and they start to go shopping. Moves to Lazada, moves to Shopee, moves to Mudah, then back to Facebook, then they get bought, goes to YouTube, and it just goes round and round the clock, especially true during the lockdowns. However, we understand that those are the general issues of technology and mental health, especially in the new normal. What I would like to share right now is the in-depth look on the dangers and threats of technology in the new normal. Previously, we have talked briefly on digital addiction. There are 5 main things that we have to be really concerned about. Digital addiction can be separated into 5 main elements. The first one would be cybersex, which is internet porn, sexualized behaviors, sexual grooming, and you have net compulsions like online gambling, shopping, or stock trading, especially through recently during the 11/11 sale on Lazada and Shopee. Now, information seeking, web surfing, or database searches. Sometimes students like to do that. Personally, if someone is studying, information seeking can actually be an addictive behavior because the internet is a vast well of knowledge. And gaming, online games playing, especially people who are using mobile gaming, and gaming has become much more accessible, much more affordable, and there is literally very low barrier of entry now for people to enjoy online gaming and become addicted to it. And finally, of course, during the lockdown, human interaction is limited. So cyber relationships, social media, online dating, and other virtual communication take center stage in the areas of digital addiction. Deceptive and destructive, targeting individuals like you and those around you. So what we're going to discuss now is elements of digital threats. Now, since a lot more people are now adopting digital technologies, a lot of people now are using digital platforms from a young age, especially kindergartners now starting doing online classes, online learning, as well as the elder people who are now starting to use technology to communicate, to find information, to get entertainment. So these are the few elements that we have to worry about. Personal information, phishing, and more is a serious threat. Your information is valuable online, so you have to make sure that you really take care of it, because what you like, your data, your preference can actually be of commercial interest to people who have malicious intent. Of course, you have the digital lover. Now, digital lover is actually a very sensitive topic because there are people who actually do find love digitally, but here we are talking about fake digital lovers, bots and AIs. Of course, we have fake charities, investment opportunities, fake work, physical, emotional threats, and surprise gain. Now, these elements can now be further synthesized into cyber crimes. Cyberbullying takes center stage in Malaysia, and there's a lot of cases where people are acting inappropriately and targeting people and bullying people. Sex solicitation, basically for this aspect, the internet can actually be a catalog for all immoral and lewd behaviors. Commercial fraud is another common thing. Internet banking fraud as well as trafficking is the key crimes that is actually happening now in the new normal. So to synthesize this is a list of common online scams or online threats in 2018 by the FBI. So just a quick brief through. There's an advanced fee scheme where you pay an X amount of money in return to get more money. Business fraud, where people actually conduct fake businesses, and fake drugs, another very critical issue. Credit card fraud, seniors especially, is targeted. Death fraud, health insurance, identity theft. The list goes on and on and on. And for the past 10 to 15 years, the Nigerian letter, the 419 fraud, has become very, very famous, as well as the Ponzi and pyramid scheme. So we would think that people and users are becoming smarter and smarter, able to identify all these scams in 2020. When you see a letter from a Nigerian prince requesting you to deposit an X amount of money in return for another bigger amount of money, you will know that is ridiculous. There's no way that's going to happen. So now perpetrators are becoming smarter. Future crimes in the new normal, especially with the adoption of technology, these are the few elements that we have identified. Deepfakes is a serious issue that is not taken seriously enough. Social media algorithm, have you ever wondered how come suddenly when you're scrolling through your Facebook post, you were just thinking of, let's say, a bicycle, that you want to buy a bicycle, and in a few moments you see an ad for bicycles on the on your screen, on your social media feed. There's also your preference tracker. Whatever you Google, whatever you search on the search bar is actually captured, and these information can be used against you. So things like automated criminal using AI to basically carry out crime, illicit blackmail. Now, blackmail is again very damaging to reputation and people, big data hacking and leakage, as well as borderless crimes. So in this new normal, we may think COVID-19 is a serious threat to your well-being. It is physically, but virtually, these are the elements that you have to worry about. So next, I would like to really show you a quick glimpse of the technology of deepfakes. So I would like to share a video so that everybody can see the dangers of the technology. Let me just share the video again. I think something went wrong there. Can we have the video file on? Admin, can I have the slides back on, please? There you go. I would like to share this tab. So admin, can you please allow the sharing of this particular tab? It's a Chrome tab.
I'm Jim Eskman, and I wrote a poem about what it feels like to be an impressionist. Is anything more sad?
So I'd like you to pay attention to the inner workings of how the deepfake technology works. It basically captures your facial expressions on key points, and basically the AI algorithm will feed in a different face, an alternative face to be imposed on your face. So if you look on the left side of the screen, this is the original person. He is Jim Miskimans. He is basically an impressionist. So if you notice on the right, you will see the deepfake face of the impression that he's actually doing. The transformation is actually quite seamless.
How many opportunities passed up and wasted because he's hell-bound to follow what he must? Pity the poor impressionist, doomed to live in abject failure, dogged by his own echolalia.
Better to crumble into dust than wind up an impressionist. His borrowed voices can't deflect a life of well-deserved neglect.
His name's on simply no one's lips. forgotten, vain impressionist.
That sound. Did anybody moan? That creature with the microphone.
Is last on everybody's list. Forgettable impressionist. When Peter, at that shiny gate, condemns those souls who imitate.
You will but shake a heavenly fist and curse condemned impressionists.
But till that time, we'll tolerate the good-for-nothing reprobate.
And hide the truth that we're just pissed that we can't be impressionists.
Okay. So looking at that, now this video was at least 1 or 2 years back. Previously, the technology takes a lot of computing power. You have to basically teach the AI on how to basically impose their face on your face, and it's actually quite technical to go about. However, it is available open source, so anybody can actually learn how to do this for free online. So try to imagine what people are able to do now. Imagine having the same deepfake technology now, and people can actually do this live. So how could this actually affect us? Now, I'm going to propose to you one simple scenario. The perpetrator impersonates as this lady's daughter, requesting for money to help. Seeing on the mobile phone that this person is actually, hey, I know this person is my family, therefore I will transfer the money. Now this is using deepfake technology, but now in Malaysia, this is becoming a pandemic of its own, because the perpetrators actually use WhatsApp, they actually use emails, but the message is still the same. Fooling a target or a victim into giving you money by impersonating someone that the victim knows. So think about it. Can you actually trust everything you see online now? So now let's look at a sample scenario that is more complex. If you look at it, the situation that I would like to share here, on the left side of the screen, a person, an elderly gentleman, passed away due to COVID-19. And this person, we'll call him Mr. M, leaves behind his wife and his daughter. Now, due to the adoption of technology now, every single reaction and action made by the wife and the daughter of the late Mr. M is then shared online. If Mrs. M is happy, if she's sad, if she's depressed, they'll feed all the information on all the social media platforms. Now, perpetrators has a wealth of resource about you online. Whatever you do online can actually be used against you. So what would the perpetrator do? Using the algorithms, they can send you fake emails, they can be a fake digital lover, a Ponzi scheme, and there's so many ways to go about. Because Mrs. M and the daughter shares everything they do online. That is the new normal now. So you have to understand, through this behavior, you're exposing yourself at risk, where you risk losing your house, you risk losing your money, you risk losing your business and your dignity, all because of not being able to contain one's reaction and actions online. Now, this is a much more complex scenario. However, I've actually seen this happen in real life. So how does technology affect mental health positively? Let's discuss about that. So looking at it, there are a lot of apps to basically help you manage your mental health. Computerized cognitive behavior therapy, CBT, helps patients to change their negative emotions and behavior through meditation via mobile apps. No medication is needed. It is said to be effective for patients in the early stages of the illness. The technology has attracted the most funding so far. So computerized cognitive behavior therapy is one of the few futures or new normals moving forward for mental health. Telepsychiatry. Telepsychiatry provides treatment services digitally in the form of text, pictures, videos, phone calls, like what we're doing now, streaming online. There are also professional tools to serve the needs of healthcare practitioners and help improve operational efficiency. So there are early assessment tools, psychometrics, comparative analysis, reference pool, Q&A, info bank, and ebooks, and many, many more. There are also consumer tools to assist patients in setting goals in daily life, managing personal schedules, improving emotions, and establishing networks among patients, among which are data trackers, social networks, personal schedule apps, meditation apps, recreational apps, self-help guides, self-improvement milestones, and many, many more. Of course, there are hardwares as well, so captures patients biometrically touch and connected hardware, such as virtual reality devices, smart bracelets, or scene sensor-equipped devices to assist therapists in monitoring and adjusting the treatment. And finally, we'd like to talk about artificial intelligence provides personalized and more effective services in the prevention, diagnosis, and treatment through AI applications such as dialogue, predictive analysis, and machine learning. This will assist in detection, prevention, diagnosis, treatment, monitoring, and so on. So in quick summary, there are positive aspects and negative aspects of technology in the new normal to our mental health. Among children, the positive aspect is accelerated learning, digital intelligence, and audio-visual communication. The negative aspect will be attention deficit disorder, time management, perceptual disorder, virtual friends, negative social circles, and antisocial disorders. Among adolescents, the positive aspects will be the ability to fact-find, skill development, extracurricular activities, peer group support, parental supervision are all the positive aspects among adolescents. However, the negative aspects include suicide ideation, self-harm, bullying and bullying victimization, anxiety, depression, social skills, identity formation, and then dangerous addictions. Looking at young adults, positively, they can build relationship, networks, knowledge sharing, as well as a platform for creative expression. However, the negative aspect includes exploration of social boundaries. Young adults would like to experiment, cementing of negative habits and routines, difficulty in differentiating virtual and real life, seeking social support network that maintain negative behavior and attitudes. So moving forward, technology is a double-edged sword, as it has the ability to both liberate and enslave. Mental health professionals have crucial roles in steering the mental well-being of current and future generations. So mental health professionals need to improve their repository of knowledge and internet-savvy skills to aid them in their work. As new mental illnesses emerge and client participation in their own treatment or rehabilitations becomes more involved, increasing the likelihood of using technology as part of therapy for personal growth. And can we have the slides back on, please? Thank you. The traditional ways of treatment and therapy need to evolve with the changing times, with which physical presence of the client may be replaced with virtual sessions. Self-improvement becomes more transparent and measurable, and the needs of clients becomes more complex. So, thank you, ladies and gentlemen. I noticed there are some issues on the stream. Some of the slide is not really showing, and there are some interferences in the audio, so I apologize for that first. Adnan, we can proceed with the next part. I've done with the slides.
Thank you, Mr. Anwar Fai, for sharing your knowledge and wisdom with us. As we can see, the positive and negative effects of technology in the new normal, in our lives, and on our mental health. I would like to open the floor to questions, and if you have any questions, please post them and our speaker will answer your questions. Any questions? It's Q&A time now.
Whoever's watching can ask any questions regarding the slides or any question to me. That's not a problem. I'll try my best to address your queries. Maybe from Madam Asha yourself, do you have any questions for me?
Not really.
Yeah, I agree. It is a bit unclear because I'm actually watching the stream on my mobile here, and the audio is quite choppy actually. So far, no questions?
How do you think, how do you think technology can have positive impact on our students? Would they be more comfortable doing online learning and using technology more for their learning?
Okay, maybe for that, I will basically go back to the slide here. I think just now during my presentation, this slide got cut off. So admin, if you can show me the slide. So I'm looking back at the summary. If you're looking at the students, which is young adults, their positive aspects are actually quite clear. This involves relationship building, networking, knowledge sharing, as well as creative expression. However, the negative aspect among young adults and working adults is also quite severe. Work-life imbalances is a common theme now, especially in the new normal. Spillover effects of working online, relationship conflicts, and internet addictions still remain the key negative issues of this matter.
Yeah, thank you. Can hear you once more. There are a few questions on the screen.
Really?
Are there any recent studies on the effects of technology on children?
On children, yeah? Okay.
Any
Um,
reasons?
so, since the pandemic only started in Malaysia in March, there are some studies that is conducted, but not specifically to children. However, what I can inform is based on a study done by Duke University in 2017. They found that at-risk adolescents experience more conduct problems and higher ADHD symptoms compared to days that they use technology less. So if you're looking for a reference academically, you may look for the Duke University's study. This is published in 2017 in a Global Academics Duke Today. And I hope that answers your question, Sharinda Kaur. Moyat Al-Mota, technology is neutral, but humans manipulate it as they need. I totally agree with that. Technology is a double-edged sword. How you use it will really affect how you will benefit from it. So Zahra Saad mentioned during this pandemic, we need more counseling sessions for our students as part of the moral support. I couldn't agree more. However, I would say the adoption of this new behavior and new normal may deter some students from actually adopting this. Some may actually experience this as an invasion to their privacy. So many may not want to basically be a part of the counseling sessions. They may have a stigma that if they have to go to counseling, that means they have a problem. I think it's also very important for us to address this stigma. Counseling is about realigning oneself. It doesn't mean that that you are in the wrong, or that does not mean that you are broken. Counseling essentially is just one of the mechanisms and tools to cope, especially now in the new normal. Okay, so cap change. We have many passwords to many applications. How do you advise us to remember them? Well, there are two things that you can do. One, you can have a keylogger, which is a separate application that stores all your passwords in one place. I personally don't use that because I don't trust technologies that much. So how do you advise us to remember that? Personally, how I do it the old school way. Paper, pencil and pen. Because there's too many things for you to remember. But if you know exactly where you write your password, I mean, don't write that password. Be inconspicuous, write it somewhere that only you know and only you remember, so that if you actually do forget it, you can actually bring it up and only you will understand what that password or those gibberish that you have written is for. That is one of the ways that I actually use. Another way is just use password that is easy for you to remember and information that is unique to you. Next, positive technology being used for COVID-19 in terms of personal experience, effective quality, engagement, actualization, and connectedness. I think in this statement by Zainuria Zakaria, your statement is basically the answer to your question. It does promote engagement and actualization and connectedness, provided that the session is conducted properly. The main issue with technology now is that one is the users. People may not know how to use online services. They may not have the right skill set to conduct lessons online or be receptive to online consultations. So I think the first thing that has to be addressed is user adoption. We have to make sure that people are able to adopt the technology much easier and much faster, and in that way will actually result in a more connected online community. The main frustration for most people during this technology-heavy COVID-19 pandemic is technology failures. Like just now when I'm talking, suddenly the slides disappeared, the audio became choppy, so that became very, very frustrating. And if you identify at the view counter on the screen, it drops. It's not necessarily because of the topic, it's not necessarily maybe because of the speaker or the thing, but it's mainly the technology itself. Some may not be at par to the extent that we actually want to achieve it. So, Sharinda Kyle, thank you. My question is answered. We viewed the Duke University study. All right, thank you very much. Published May 3rd, 2017. If you want to really look into that study. I think that's most of the questions on the feed. Is there any more?
So thank you all the participants for your questions, and we really appreciate Mr. Anwar for your presence and making time for us today. We hope to hear from you again, perhaps in another webinar. So thank you, everybody. We'll go offline now. Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye.